What happens when a single lost bundle filled with gold and cash falls into the hands of a small-town family? Would it turn out to be a blessing? Or the very thing that tears two brothers apart and ruins a home forever? Today's story takes us down a dusty country road, where a simple choice to do the right thing triggered a wave of greed, lies, and a painful family heartbreak. Let's step back in time and begin today's story. More than any hard-earned dollar, it's the warmth of family that makes a life worth living. But these days, seems like everybody's caught up chasing their own wants. Even holding a family together, let alone staying close to kin, feels like pushing a plow uphill. This happened back when I was 9 years old, walking to the little elementary school in our town. Back then, our county school wasn't much to brag about. Most of the teachers treated the job as nothing more than a paycheck, showing up when it suited them, on account of some political connection or family tied to somebody with pull. Every now and then, a landowning family would donate a corner of their property for a schoolhouse, meaning well by it. But those same families would turn right around and become the biggest obstacle to that school ever amounting to anything. They didn't much want the children of the folks who worked their land getting educated and walking off the farm for good. My grandfather's land had been split between my father and my uncle, about 22 acres all told, which kept both households fed. My mother and my aunt were up before sunrise every single morning. We kept a couple of milk cows. They'd do the milking, churn the butter themselves, and my aunt would have biscuits going in the cast iron skillet before the rooster finished crowing. Us kids would eat warm biscuits with fresh butter and a glass of cold milk straight from the cow before heading off to school. Thank the Lord, both my father and my uncle understood the value of schooling. Unlike a lot of other county schools, ours actually had teachers who showed up every single day and taught like they meant it, not folks just collecting a check from home. My brother and I took to learning like a duck to water. We studied hard and made good grades. Afterward, we both trained as teachers over in the next town and got placed at schools close to home. I'd been sweet on my neighbor boy Ethan since we were both knee-high. Our families lived on adjoining land, and everybody just sort of assumed we'd end up married one day. His sister Sarah, meantime, was set to marry my brother. Wedding talk was already in the air for both couples. But around that time, some sour grapes relatives started stirring up doubt between my father and my uncle. My aunt was right in the thick of it, forever whispering things into my uncle's ear. Eventually, it boiled over into a fight about dividing up the house and the land. The first casualty of that falling out was the closeness between the two brothers. It curdled into flat-out bad blood. The shared land got split into two 11-acre halves, and as for the house, they struck a deal. My uncle would keep the family homestead, and in exchange, give us 4 acres that had come down to my aunt through her own people. There was a solid, roomy farmhouse already standing on part of that land. The catch was, it sat clean on the far side of the county, and it was my aunt herself who'd first proposed the trade. My father, being the younger brother, thought the world of my uncle and didn't want to stir up trouble. My aunt figured that far-off land and house weren't worth a plugged nickel to her anyway, which is exactly why she'd offered the swap. But some relatives talked my father into taking the deal, arguing, "You're trading half a house on half an acre for 4 whole acres, with a good house already built and neighbors nearby to boot. That ain't a bad trade, you'll come out ahead." Not wanting to cause a rift, my father agreed, signed off his claim to the family home, and moved us out to what everybody around just started calling the far place. It wasn't bad land, but it sat a good ways off from both town and the rest of our folks. On our 4 acres, there wasn't another house in sight besides ours, and no room for anybody else to build. That loneliness wore on us something fierce. On top of that, there was the matter of our jobs. The schools where my brother and I taught were clear over by our old place, and getting there now took real doing. My father had one old farm pickup. Every morning after breakfast, he and my brother Marcus would head out together in it. My father would drop Marcus at the boys' school before going on to work his fields. I walked out to the crossroads alone, where the school bus would swing by to pick up the lady teachers and haul us into town. That bus route was set aside just for us. No man rode along except the driver. Coming home, that same bus dropped us back at the crossroads, and from there, I still had a good stretch of dirt road to walk on foot the rest of the way. That stretch of road was the hardest part of the whole trip. Come summer, the sun beat down so hard even the hawks wouldn't fly, staying holed up in their nests instead. Walking that rutted dirt road home felt like dragging a plow uphill by myself. Still, I wasn't the only one making that walk. Plenty of folks out that way traveled the same road, rain or shine. Forget spreading word about it, she said. The good Lord put this in your path. You found it lying there. You didn't steal it off nobody. Here's what we'll do. Split it right down the middle. Your folks are gonna need money for your wedding anyhow. Whatever half I keep is just gonna go right back into bringing you into this family as a daughter-in-law anyway. Lord knows I ain't gonna wear it myself. Your mama, now you watch, she'll be tickled pink over that jewelry. And your daddy'll about fall over at the sight of that cash. Just yesterday he was telling your uncle he'd have to sell off some cattle just to afford your wedding. Hearing that from my aunt sat wrong with me. Something awful. That same morning, I taught the 5th grade girls a lesson straight out of their Sunday school book about honesty being about the finest virtue a person could have, that an honest soul earns respect everywhere they go, prospers in this life, and gets rewarded 100-fold in the next. So I said, Aunt, this jewelry and this money ain't ours, and we got no right to a bit of it. This here's somebody else's property that just happened to fall into our hands. We got to try and find whoever it really belongs to. They're bound to live somewhere close by. Seeing as I found this bundle just a short walk from the schoolhouse. Have you lost your mind, girl? She snapped. The Lord handed you something this valuable. Don't you dare go giving it back, or you'll live to regret it. And I promise you I won't regret it one bit. I'll be glad I did it. Who knows, maybe whoever lost this was fixing to sell that jewelry out of pure desperation. Whatever good I do here, I'll get my reward for it further on down the road. Talking about rewards further down the road already. You're still just a child, worry about right now first. Don't you go teaching me about honesty. Hand it over, I'll give it to your uncle myself, and he can take it to the church or the sheriff, whichever he sees fit, and get word out proper. With that, I grabbed the bundle right back out of my aunt's hands. Her brother was sitting right there on the porch and saw the whole thing happen. My aunt shot him a look, and he sprang up off that chair quick as a rattlesnake, cornered me at the doorway, wrestled the bundle clean away from me, and shoved me out into the yard, slamming the door shut behind him. My uncle was walking up toward the house just about then and saw his brother-in-law shove me out and slam that door. He came hurrying over. What in the world happened, sweetheart? I told him everything, start to finish. He got madder than a wet hen. He went straight to pounding on that door. My aunt wouldn't open up for the longest time, so he hollered that she best open it or things weren't gonna go well for her. Then he turned to me. You go on home now. I'll deal with that greedy woman myself, and I'll see to it word gets out proper about that bundle. It was his call to make, and there wasn't a thing more for me to do standing there. So I swallowed my tears and headed back toward the crossroads. The bus hadn't left without me yet, thank goodness. When I got there, the driver wasn't happy. You can't be keeping us waiting like this. The other teachers get to fussing. If I'd have pulled off without you, how in the world would you have gotten home? The other women on that bus really had been suffering in the heat waiting on me, and soon as I climbed aboard, they lit into me with questions. Why was I so late, a full half hour, when even 10 minutes in that heat felt like forever? I just kept my head down and took their grumbling quiet-like, on account of my mind was somewhere else entirely, aching over what had just happened. Once I got home, I went straight to my room and lay down without saying a word to my mother. Hadn't told her yet, seeing as I was set to marry into that family and wanted to wait on my father before I said a thing. My father didn't get home till well past midnight, and we were all worried sick, wondering what in the world had happened. He usually got back with Marcus well before dark. He showed back up the next day, well into the afternoon, looking like he'd aged 10 years overnight. He told us my uncle had kicked my aunt out and gone down to the county courthouse to file for divorce. He'd tried every which way to talk his brother out of it, but my uncle wouldn't budge, on account of my aunt flat refusing to admit there'd ever been any bundle of jewelry and cash in her possession to begin with. She kept right on insisting I was lying, that I never had really wanted to marry Ethan in the first place. and had cooked up this whole story just to wriggle out of the wedding. She claimed that, truth be told, I'd gotten myself tangled up with some other fella, and that's why I'd had the gall to come at her demanding money back that never even existed, making up some bundled tale just to spite her. When my uncle tried talking sense into her, she got her back up and warned him, "You'll regret this, mark my words. You'll remember this day." But my uncle didn't believe a word out of his wife's mouth, or her brother's neither. He already knew good and well she was lying. He'd seen with his own two eyes her brother shoving me out that door and slamming it shut behind him. My tears that day had told him everything he needed to know. That's exactly why he'd told her to hand back what wasn't hers so he could go get word out proper, or else she wasn't welcome under his roof no more. She'd flat refused, wouldn't own up to a lick of it, and fought tooth and nail to paint herself innocent and me a liar. In the end, my uncle went through with kicking her out and filing the divorce papers down at the county court, and he called my father in from the fields to stand as witness. My father tried talking sense into my aunt too, telling her that ill-gotten money is nothing but kindling for the fires of hell, that even if we never did find the rightful owner, we sure weren't keeping it under our roof. We'd wait a spell, and if nobody ever came forward, we'd hand it over to the orphanage so it could go towards some orphan girl's wedding one day. But my aunt wasn't about to admit to lying, not for love nor money. She held her ground right up until my uncle, in his anger, finalized the whole business and told her brother to gather up his dishonest sister and clear on out, said he wanted nothing more to do with kin like that. My father pleaded with his brother clean up till the end, but it wasn't no use. Heartbroken, he came on home and said to me, "Sweetheart, your uncle's still gonna see to it you marry into that family proper. Don't you worry none about that. But it breaks my heart something awful that my own brother's household has fallen apart over this. I sure wish you'd never picked that bundle up off that road to begin with. And if you had to go and pick it up, you ought to have brought it straight on home to me instead of taking it to your aunt's. None of this would have ever come to pass."